Students, welcome to this video. Today I will be going to start second chapter called Elections and Party Systems in India. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about meaning of elections, about various types of elections, various features of elections, importance of Election Commission of India, which conducts election for entire India. We are also going to discuss about anti-defection law, about Indian political parties, about functions of political parties and features or nature of political parties. So, this word election, we are all familiar with this. Wherever we go, we use the term called election, maybe in the schools, maybe in the colleges, maybe in any associations. The word election is very much familiar. So what does this mean, election? What is the meaning of this election? Here, when we speak about election, because in olden days, not only in India, in entire world, it was a monarchical world because kings were ruling the countries. So when kings were ruling, there was no concept called election. It was very rare concept called election because kingship was a hereditary. They need to acquire the power on the basis of their hereditary. So this word election was not very much familiar. So this word election, it gained its popularity only after 19th century, we can say, is when entire world became democratic. So when this word election for the first time emerged, we can say this election is started for the first time in Greece or Greek country. This Greece is for the first country which developed the system called election. Because we also discussed this, Greek is a one country where for the first time direct democracy started in the world. So they used to use the system called election just to choose their representatives. So election for the first time it emerged in Greece. Right. So what is the meaning of this election? This English word election, it is derived from Latin word. This English word election is derived from Latin word. In Latin, there is a term called eligere. E-L-I-G-E-R-E. Eligere. Eligere is a Latin term where, according to Latin, eligere means it is to pick. It means to pick. We are picking something. It is a choice of people. Picking, to pick in Latin. Eligere means to pick or to select. We are selecting something. We are picking something or we are selecting something. At the same time, eligere means it is to choose. It is to choose. So these are the three meanings: picking, selecting, or choosing. These are the three meanings of word eligere in Latin. From this word eligere, we derive English term election. So English term election is the root word is Latin eligere, where means we are picking, we are choosing, or we are selecting. So on the basis of these three meanings, we draw English meaning election. So in English, election means it is process of choosing representatives to hold public office. So this is the meaning of election in English. So in Latin, eligere means selecting, choosing, or picking. So when we adopt the same meaning in English, we can say election means it is a process. It is something. It is a process. That process is relating to choosing representatives. Representatives means we can use the term here rurals. We can use the term rurals or the rulers. So we can use the term rulers here. The one who is ruling the country, the rulers. So representatives means they are all selected by people. It is a process of choosing representatives, means rulers of country. Why? To hold public office. Just to run administration. To hold public office means to run government. Here public office can be used as government. So we say election means it is nothing but it is one kind of a system where all people, they go and they select their representatives, means rulers. Why? Just to run administration or to run government, or else it is very difficult to administrate, because this system of election, it was not present in monarchical system, because in monarchy there was no system called election. Right, people had no system called election in monarchical system because kings were the rulers on the basis of their heredity. But this system of election is very common, and this system of election, it is the basic foundation of democracy. So remember, every time, election is the basic foundation of democracy. Clear? So democracy is a kind of government where we or the people rules. Isn't it? So people are the real rulers, we say, in democracy. In other words, we say democracy means it is a rule by or rule of people. Right? We call democracy means it is the rule of people. People, they themselves rules. So how people, they themselves rules? It is on the basis of election. Right? Ruling means not entire people. For example, in India, not that entire 1.3 billion of people of India are going to rule. We go for election, and on the basis of that election, we select our representatives, and on behalf of people, the representative is going to rule. So for that sake, we need election to choose. So this election is a basic foundation of democracy. And remember, if there is no election, means that country is not a democratic. Clear? So if one country has system of democracy, then that country should have election. Without election, there is no democracy. Without democracy, there is no election. So we can say these two words, democracy and election, they are both interconnected. If you want to call any country as a democratic country, then the basic foundation or the feature of that country is election. Yes? So we can say now, this system where people, they themselves select their representatives, people, they themselves elect one person, and that person is going to rule, and that government is always known as popular government. Remember here, so this government is always known as popular government. Popular government means here popular. This is a common term we use in democratic countries. Here popular means famous. No, here we say popular means it is people. Clear? So here popular means it is not famous. Here popular means it is people. Right? So we call it as a people's government. So any country, the government which is chosen by people on the basis of election, that government is always known as popular government. It means people's government. Clear? So this system is always known as popular government because people get a maximum power to rule or to go to select their representatives. Hence the name is given as popular government, means people's government. And every democratic country's government is also known as popular government because this government is every time selected by the people or chosen by the people. And going further, when we speak about this election, a basic requirement for anything, we need a basic requirement. isn't it? Similarly, when we speak about election also, we need a basic requirement, and that requirement is political parties. So every time when we speak about election, we need political parties. Without political parties, it is not possible to imagine about elections or about democracy. For example, even today also, if you go to South Korea or if you go to North Korea, then we can see the system called dictatorship, isn't it? When we move to dictatorship, we can see only one ruler or only one dictator or only one political party is ruling. So we cannot say that system is following the election or it is a democratic. So when we call the system called election or democracy, the basic requirement of that is political party. So without political party, there is a no system called election. It is not possible to imagine about election. When there is a two or more political party, only the competition begins and it is possible to conduct the election, right? So otherwise it will be unanimous. So here we say about the political parties, it is the basic requirement. It is the basic necessity of democracy, and political party is also the basic necessity of election and democratic system, right? So next, after this meaning, moving to the various kinds of election, right? This is the meaning where we say for the first time it is started in Greece. It is a process where people they themselves go and select their representatives. So next we discuss about various kinds of election or various types of elections. When we speak particularly about India, we have various 4 types or kinds of elections. Let me discuss one by one what are the various kinds or types of elections. We call it is types or kinds of election. This is, it is various types of elections. There are total 4 types of election. So elections is broadly classified into 4 types. It is, first we say kinds or types. Here, first type of election is general election. There are total 4 types, and first type of election is known as general election. This is the first type of election. It is general election. What is the meaning of general election? This general election is quite common, right? We speak every time about this general election. What is the meaning of general election? General. General means we can say in total or everyone, right? So this general election means if election is conducted for entire country, then that election is known as general election. It is for entire country. So general election means this is the election for entire country. It is not for one particular place. This election is not for one particular area, or this is not the election for one particular constituency. So the election which is conducted for entire country in general, everyone has to go for this election. That is known as general election. That's the term used here, general, means everyone. So this election, when general election takes place, entire people of India goes for election, because this election is for entire country. And we say general election means this election is for Lok Sabha. Every time we use the term called Lok Sabha. This Lok Sabha is the lower house of India, where people directly elect some representatives, right? For this is the part of Indian Parliament. We say this general election is for Lok Sabha, right? And all those Lok Sabhas we call, they are the MPs of India. right? Members of parliament. So these Lok Sabha people or representatives or the rulers, they are all directly elected by people, by us, and on the basis of this general election. So this general election is for entire India, means it is for Lok Sabha. We have only one Lok Sabha for entire India. Right. So whenever the election is going to happen for this Lok Sabha, we call that election is general election. And this election is going to happen once in 5 years. So this entire country, it's a not, we cannot say the entire country goes for election once in 5 years, but the basic, in normal time, this general election will happen once in 5 years. And this election is once for 5 years, but there are many instances in India where before completing these 5 years of tenure, the country had gone for next general election. But during, except that term, but generally speaking, once in 5 years we can go for this general election where entire people go for vote, and it's for the Lok Sabha. So present Indian Lok Sabha is the 17th Lok Sabha, because this is the 17th Lok Sabha of India. Because last year India had gone for general election, right? And we selected some of our MPs for parliament, and we got our new central government, and that is the 17th Lok Sabha. Means it is the 17th general election of India. In the year 1952 we had first general election, and after that till 2019 we had this total 17 general election. Hence we use the term called 17th Lok Sabha. And here in general election, every people, they go for election on the basis of universal adult franchise. Remember, here general election is held on the basis of universal adult franchise. We discussed this word so many times, UAF, Universal Adult Franchise. It is on the basis of Universal Adult Franchise, people go for election. What is the meaning of Universal Adult Franchise? It means here, Universal Adult Franchise means without any discrimination, every people, those who have completed the age of 18 years, go for election. It is without any discrimination, maybe on the basis of color, maybe on the basis of gender, maybe on the basis of education, place, property. There is no discrimination. Every people, whether rich, poor, educated, illiterate, everyone have got a right to vote, and that right to vote without discrimination is known as universal adult franchise. It is the system where everyone has got the right to vote without any discrimination. So we say this, on the basis of this universal adult franchise, this general election is going to happen.